What's going on, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Want you to hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit them notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. Now, Rick Barry has came out on record and has basically stated that he doesn't feel that there is a overall GOAT, and the fact that they call Michael Jordan the overall GOAT out of everybody, it's kind of like a slap in the face, and it's kind of unfair. I'm gonna put the link to the article in the description so that you could take a look at this and use your own best judgment of this article and what Rick Barry had to say. But Rick Barry's reasoning behind this is because he doesn't feel that a GOAT should be defined, overall in terms of all the players. It should be, by positioning. And he also said that, you can't, like, for instance, you can't compare a guard to a center, or a center to a forward, or a forward to a point guard, and so on and so forth. Now, on the flip, on one end, I understand exactly what Rick Barry is saying, and I wanted to talk about this because I've said something similar to this, what Rick Barry has to say. Um, in terms of having a GOAT debate, like, to me, like, if I'm going to compare, who's greatest, I'm going to go by position, just like what he said. Like, there's many people that compare Michael Jordan to LeBron James, and I've often said that, to me, it's a it's a it's a silly comparison, and it's a silly argument too, especially when, first and foremost, they don't play the same position, and on top of that, they don't even play the same style of game. Now, if we're having an argument in the case of accomplishments and uh, accolades and what you've done over time, okay, yeah, you could bring that to the table. But when we're strictly just talking about them as a player, their overall body of work, what they do fundamentally, and what they bring to the floor, to me, I don't feel like, that debate should even be made. Now, if you had a case where you're comparing Kareem to Wilt, or Wilt to Shaq, or Shaq to Akeem, and I'm just throwing a position out there with some players and stuff, then okay, I can understand that. But I do understand what Rick Barry is saying, and I've often said that. It may sound like a broken record, but hey, it has to be put out there because I'm not the only one that feels this way. I do rank them by position. Like, for me, and you can have a favorite player that you watch, and have a favorite player that you watched growing up, and you felt like they were the best and everything. But that's how I do it. I construct a starting five, and then some other players after that. But in terms of how Rick Barry is saying, you can't compare, a power forward to a point guard. I understand exactly what he's saying. You have to go by that position. So I agree somewhat with what Rick Barry is saying. Okay. Now, there are a lot of people that are going to say, well, um, what about their style of game that they play? They're both athletic, they're both running, they're both dunking, things of that nature. Especially, when we're talking about the obvious one, when people compare a Michael Jordan to LeBron James, and in the fact of how athletic both of those players are. And to me, like, that really doesn't define you being the GOAT, you know, in terms of athleticism. I mean, because if we're going to have that argument, then you got to throw some other guys in the past that were just as athletic, if not even more athletic than the both of them. You know, especially when you consider some people consider Dr. J. You know, he was more athletic than some of these guys that were coming up, or Connie Hawkins, or David Thompson, or even Vince Carter. And I'm not saying that Vince Carter, you know, is no GOAT, or Julius Erving, or any of these other guys are considered GOATs. What I'm talking about, just in terms of athleticism, you know. But you know, I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of people, they just stick with one. They have a one-track mind when it comes to this sort of GOAT argument, this GOAT debate, or who they have as their GOAT and everything. But I want to hear how y'all feel about this situation. Y'all leave your comments. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I'll get at you later.